Alright guys, it's the infamous Honda trailing arm bushing. So if you're watching this, you're probably trying to save yourself a lot of time and headache and do it the easy way. Last night I spent about 3 hours on the other side of this car, sweating and cursing and having a grand old time trying to replace this thing. But I figured out how to do it the easy way. It only takes a few minutes, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now, and I'm going to show you guys what tools you need to do it. The only special tools you need to do this job, there's really like 4 things. An air hammer. So yes, you will need air tools to do it the way that I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So an air hammer, a puller like this. You can buy one at Harbor Freight or really any store. A socket or something big enough to fit over the the trailing arm bushing, and then I'm just using this brake pad to put it here. Well, you'll see in a minute, but this is really all you need. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of take the liberty to tear this thing down, and I'm not gonna waste a whole bunch of time going through every step how to tear it down. So like I said, I just kind of took the liberty of unbolting everything that needs to be done in order to do this. I assume you probably already know how to do that. If not, there's lots of other videos on YouTube. But I've seen a lot of guys on YouTube, spending hours beating on this thing with a hammer, trying to get it out. Various methods of pressing it in. And not to say that it's wrong to do that way, but it's just for me. I don't want to spend hours trying to do this, and last night I did on the other side, so I'm going to show you how to get this out easily. Alright guys, I'm going to try to do this while holding the phone at the same time. I don't know how it's going to work, but you basically take your air hammer, you come from the back side, not the front. I mean, I guess you could do the front, but you're really supposed to do it from this side, and you just give it a good few whacks with this. Alright guys, this is kind of the best I could come up with, so I could do this. So you can see you kind of got to beat it up pretty good with the air hammer, but it only takes about a minute with that air hammer, and man, this thing comes out. It's not all that difficult to do. And I'd recommend too on the air hammer, start out with the chisel tip like this. That way you get good grip on it. Then when you get about flush with the control arm, switch over to one of these, a bit like this, and to finish the job. What you guys just saw is what I would call the easy part. So the hard part, so when you get this new one in, you want to come from this side, come from the outside of the car in. And remember, the long side goes in, and the short side sticks toward the outside of the car, and then there is an upper and lower orientation. So the fun part is getting this inside a hole so small it was almost not even intended to fit. So basically what you have to do is you have to rig up this puller, and I'll show you guys in just a second, but you rig it up to where these arms grab onto the control arm, to where this little socket or whatever you have can fit right here along the outside of the bushing, and that it fits pretty much perfectly with the bushing to give it something to press against. And then I just use this brake pad to cover up the hole on the socket. So let me show you guys how it looks when it's all set up. Alright guys, let me show you basically what I've done. So I went ahead and I am bolted right here. and I have this whole, control or trailing arm and the hub and the rotor and all that stuff, or all that stuff is laying, on a tire, lay it on something. I just did that to avoid having to take off all these brake lines and stuff, and it's just, it's easier. So, but I had to take that off to drop this low enough, to where I'm not hitting this. So basically, here's what you have. This is what it's gonna look like when you have it all set up. Okay, so looking back on this repair, I just have a couple tips that I would give you. Number one would be the control arm orientation. So you saw how in the video I had it kind of, like perpendicular to the ground, to where you have to go in sideways with the puller. When I was kind of fiddling around with it, I discovered that really the easiest way, and you don't have to take the brake lines off to do this, but you want to orient that trailing arm in such a way to where you can actually go with the puller from the top. That's the easiest way, because otherwise you're gonna have problems with that thing. When you start tightening down on it, it's gonna keep wanting to fall off and slide off. So if you can go from the top, you're gonna save yourself a lot of time and headache. So I would definitely recommend do it that way. The second thing is that you wanna start out tightening it with a ratchet wrench, and then I ended up using an impact at the very end. One other thing, I apologize for not putting footage of actually tightening and pressing the bushing in to the trailing arm. I forgot to hit record on that part, and so I lost that footage. But it's not too critical. I mean, you guys get the idea of the whole setup and how to do it. So you have the important steps. So definitely, like I said, just start off with the ratchet wrench. Once you see that you're starting to get it pressed in, then at that point you can go back with an impact and tighten it all the way. You're not going to hurt anything using the impact on it. But if you just start out with the impact, you may put it in crooked. So just keep that in mind. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. I know they make a tool for this. The tool's like maybe 150 bucks online, something like that. So if you're going to be doing it a lot, you may want to invest in that tool. But if you're just going to do it once or twice, then if you have a puller and some other stuff laying around, it wouldn't hurt to do it this way to save you some money. So I hope this helps you guys, and thank you for watching.